That's a hard number to hit. That 40 car a month number is, man.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously, during COVID, we were killing it. 40, 50, 60 cars, 70 cars a month with no issue. We were just talking about that this morning. But, since then, man, to hit that 40 car a month, like to stay on a 40 car a month average it's hard. It's having the right inventory at the right price, making sure the right recon's getting done. Not too much is getting added into there. Like they're doing too much to the cars. It's a lot. I mean, when I go to the auctions out here, I see what these guys are paying, and it's hard for me to, and I think that might be a little bit of a struggle for me too, is the inventory side, in that sense where, you don't want to pay retail book for these cars at auction, and I'm watching guys do it. So instead of me stocking 60, 70 cars a month like I should be, I'm stocking anywhere from, 47 to 55 in that range, Hello
and welcome to the Independent Dealer Podcast, education by dealers for dealers. And we got a dealer with us today, Luke, a familiar face.
Yeah, old Brandon, he's back.
We love it, guys. So Brandon has been a really, really fun, what we call our board of directors type series. Brandon's just been super gracious to let us pick and prod and yank at his business and kind of help him or hurt him. I don't know. We're going to find out. But if you haven't listened to Brandon's episodes, episode 308, episode 342, that'll give you background on what we've worked with Brandon over. So a year ago, we had a check-in, and the first episode was about 8 months before that. So it's been about 20 months or so that Brandon has been a friend of the pod and been listening, and we've been hearing things. So we're excited he's taking some time to check in with us again so we know how things are going. Brandon, dude, give us the high level. We're going to dig into the deep stuff. I want to get into some of the promises you made in our last episode and some of the goals you had, but at a really high level, on a 1 to 10, how do you feel about your dealership right now?
Oh man, I don't know. I can never say 10. Unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. Gives us no room for improvement. But I mean, I would say with a lot of the changes we've made, we're probably at, a solid 7, 8 right now, I would say.
That's pretty good. I tell you, if you can run it at 7 or 8, you're doing good in this weird economy we're in right now. So good job. What allowed you to get from, because probably when you first came to us, you were maybe at a 5 or so?
Yeah.
Okay. What has been the major difference moving from that 5 to that 8?
I think for us, these last, almost 2 years now, it's been a lot of the back end stuff. So being able to make some of that reserve money on the back has been helping out a lot. Because obviously, like you guys know, grosses on cars aren't what they used to be by any means. So to find those other avenues of making just a little bit more per copy has been really helping. And then getting the right staff in place on the sales side for sure, it's been just a huge opportunity for us.
And let's touch on that.
Well, we should probably first say Hayden Cars near Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, right?
In Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just wanted to.
You guys are hunkering down for hibernation right now, eh?
Yeah. We've had a bunch of rain. We had some snow, but it's gone with the rain. It's supposed to be in the mid 40s, but it's still a little chilly with the wind for sure.
Yeah. So I want to run through some rapid fire questions to update the audience, and then we'll go back in and dive into a couple. So in our last episode and update, you had a key employee that you felt like was an amazing hire. Jimmy, or what was his name?
Dennis.
Okay. Is he still with you?
100%. Yep.
Did he sell it?
There you go.
Yeah. The guy's incredible. He's killing it.
Love that guy. Okay. And you still have separate F&I and sales.
Correct.
And did you hire 2 new salespeople to try to get to that 40, 50 car?
We did. This year's been a little bit weird with some of the salespeople we've hired. Obviously, they kind of come and go. We've had some really good people, and right now who we have, I think, is really solid. I hate to say we stole him from another dealership, but we did, and the kid's killing it. He's doing great for us. We love him to death. And then I have actually my oldest son working for us in sales right now, which is really nice. So it's been cool kind of teaching him the ropes, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's been really good these last few months.
How many do you have now?
I just have 2.
Oh, still two. And
Still two.
what kind of productivity are they getting? What are you selling a month the last 6 months, 8 months?
Averaging about 29 to 35 a month right now, which is
Okay.
okay. And Dalton, my head guy, he's got the majority of those. And some of the other ones we've had have just found different things and got out of the sales world completely. And so it's been a little struggle. Not necessarily keeping them. It's just the fact that you know, there's just other things that are booming up here that they want to go try to do. And we get calls back from them that want to come back, but we've already moved on. So,
Yeah. So Dennis is like your F&I sales manager type guy.
yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's the one making all the money on the back end for you.
Yeah. He's killing it. He came from a new car franchise store, like we talked about last time. He was there for a long time. And he's just been, the guy's awesome. I cannot say enough without him, honestly. I don't know where I would be without him.
Right. Yeah.
I think a lot of us can say that have had any kind of freedom from the business or made really, really key hires it is a game changer, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be the smartest one in the room, but you want to have a lot of smart people in the room, right?
Yeah.
And finding those key people are what can jump you from one level to the next. And it's a hunt. It is a hunt, man. And you got to kiss a lot of frogs, you know?
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I know Luke is familiar with kiss frogs. So why not more salesmen? What happened?
Yeah,
that was part of your commitment was, hey, I need to get more salesmen to sell more cars.
Yeah, it was. And within the last few months of, having some family issues going on, losing my mother-in-law, it's kind of been one of those things where the transition from, home life to here has been really a struggle dealing, helping my wife and my father-in-law, excuse me. So, our plan is for the new year to maybe get 1 to 2 more. It's just, especially coming in the winter right now, where it kind of slows down with the amount of snow that we'll get. We've got to be really limited on what we're going to pile out there for inventory. So I think 2 right now is a good number for us until probably spring. That's when we're planning on hopefully doing at least 1 more to have. I'd like to have 3, but hopefully 4.
Yeah, I mean, 3 is probably a good number for you, and I think that you do have to keep in mind is the training process to get that guy or girl up and running. So, if you need that person when it starts to thaw out in March, you need to make sure that you hire them probably 45 to 60 days prior to make sure that you really get them trained up and used to what's going on in your dealership.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm not saying this because somebody's going to probably email us in and say, well, I sell 80 cars with 2 people. Well, that's not the normal. That's an anomaly. So 15 sales per salesperson is probably average. And so when you tell me you're selling around 30 cars a month, you have 2 salespeople, makes sense, right, Jeff?
Yeah. And it sounds like one of them's doing the bulk of it. And then your son is the other one who's the one kind of learning right now.
But he'll get better. He'll get better.
Oh,
yeah. Are you stocked up with Subarus and Jeeps right now?
Yeah, we are. And I'll tell you, it's been crazy. We do have quite a few Subarus out there, but we just had our first snow, maybe last week sometime. So we're hoping those start ramping up. We haven't really, I think we sold 1 in the last week. So hopefully those will start ramping up. But yeah, we got them out there. That's for sure.
And let's talk about your marketing, because last time you were stepping heavy into social media and you felt like your leads and your sales were growing because you were spending a little more on Facebook and you were doing a little better in your social media. Is that still the case? And are your current salesmen still very active in advertising?
Yeah, they're doing really well. They're posting obviously on their own pages, and then we have a lady that comes in once a week and does some really cool videos with us, and we're boosting those and funny videos. Like right now at Christmas time, we have my guy Dennis dresses up as the Grinch, and they'll go around and do stuff out there. We also just upgraded to a new website, which it's been really good for us with all the new AI stuff going. So that's been a really good feature for us. We went to a company called Space Auto for our website, and they've been really, really good. Which is, like I said, integrated with AI, so they can help move things along. And Facebook's still going. And we talked about the first one, you guys didn't really get much out of Craigslist, but we still get quite a few out of Craigslist every month, which is pretty good.
That blows my mind. I didn't even know it was a website still. I know we've talked about this before, but that's so random.
Yeah.
I mean, your website looks good. It's funny, Jeff. All these dealer websites look the same. I'm sure somebody has a cookie cutter and and they buy the back end of them and do different things and charge you anywhere from $800 a month to $2,000 a month. But
Oh yeah, we're up there.
but anyway, yeah, your Facebook page looks good. It's you doing stuff on the marketplace or just Craigslist? Okay.
Yeah, we got stuff going on marketplace too. You know, I'm boosting ads throughout the week and boosting there, and then we still have to have cars for sale, unfortunately, just because they're the only ones that will push over to Facebook for us. Through integrated through the website. So we still have that, and then our new website does everything internal, which is really really cool, and it's been really it's taken a lot of load off the sales people and the finance manager going in. Essentially, the customer now can go in and pretty much create their own deal with our website and pick what they want and do their thing. And then it gets emailed right to us or texted to the guys, and then they can go about working it that way. So that's been really good.
Hey guys, just to jump in and talk about Buckeye Risk Services. They've been one of our sponsors forever. They're great to the industry. They're one of your sponsors. You don't even know it. Every time you go to a convention or something like that, they're there helping out. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. I have not seen a company so willing to get behind the dealers from an education, from a support standpoint. I mean, there's a handful that we see in our sphere that are very active and always have our back, but Buckeye really sets the standard. So when you're looking for a reinsurance company, if you've decided it's time to get into it, you've got to call the guys and girls over at Buckeye. I promise you will not regret it.
Yep. Reinsurance, forced savings account, wealth building, tax planning, all these things go together. So call Buckeye.
Interesting. So the reason I asked that is, do you feel like your salesman and a half that you have right now are utilizing every lead that's coming in, and that's why you don't want to have another salesman, or like it'd be cutting the pie too thin for everybody? Or is it just literally a matter of you haven't been able to give it attention because of these other, personal items you've had? Like, what's kept you from getting to that third salesman? You don't have the leads. You don't have the what?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, I think that it would probably cut the pie a little bit, just because right now with the way grosses are on some of these front end grosses on vehicles are getting to be really tight. So after you try to buy these cheaper cars, which is like you guys see it all the time, they're very hard to purchase at auctions or anywhere at this point. So I think that's got a lot to do with it on my end. I was worried that the pie might get cut a little bit too thin for these guys. But that being said, there's still some really great grosses that we're making. But like I said, I think right now I'm just gonna be honest, I really think the back end has really been kind of carrying us these last 6 to 8 months for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I always say it's a lead problem, not a lead problem. It's never a lead problem. It's a salespeople working the lead problem.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to make sure you're staying on top of them. Who's managing those salespeople? Who's going back and looking to make sure that the leads are being touched, and who's handling your CRM? Who's managing it?
So right now, Dennis and I are both managing that. That's the nice part with this new website. It has its own built-in CRM, so we can all see it. We talked about last time we had Podium for a while, and we ended up just recently kind of parting ways with them and going over to with this new company for the website. And so Dennis kind of really looks at a lot of that too. And then I'm in there just kind of on the back end, always just peek and see what the guys are doing and making sure stuff's getting answered for sure.
Mm-hmm. I can see with your new website, you still didn't put you or your wife. The dog is on the website. We talked about that, making you, where's your story, man? I look here, it's about us. Dealership in Coeur d'Alene, and there's a picture of a car tire, and it's like a stock photo of like a new car store with a car tire, man. Where's the beautiful family photo with the pup?
Yeah, we definitely need to get that. We've actually talked about that because we've been up and running with these guys for about a month and a half now, maybe 2 months. So it's still working out the kinks, trying to get all that stuff done with them. And it's a little harder too because the wife works from home, so it's just not here all the time to be able to get. We're doing a big Christmas party this weekend, which we're going to get some really cool pictures and stuff, and taking them out to a big motocross event Saturday night. So we're going to get a bunch of pictures and blow that stuff up all over there for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be halfway. Is your wife still working with you? I mean, I think you said she went back to nursing there for a little bit.
Yeah, she's still doing that, but she does our books here for us. So thank God that she can still do that, because without her, she's my rock. Like I've told you a million times, there ain't no way this business would be anywhere it is without her. So yeah. She does doing her books.
Interesting. Did you mentioned personal things happening in life and how they affected your business. I think a lot of dealers deal with that. Can you kind of just tell us what happened and how do you think it can affect your business and it can affect you, which in turn affects your business?
Yeah, I will. So like I said, we lost my mother-in-law unexpectedly, but kind of not. She's been battling some health issues and was there one day and gone that afternoon. So hardest thing that I've had to do is obviously tell my four boys they're at the hospital, say goodbye to grandma. And so for me, it was it was one of those things where I had to really focus on my family. And so what I was worried about is that as now I'm focusing on that, is my dealership going to start to kind of dwindle and fall a little bit. But, God is good, man. And he's really treated us well and he's worked us through this. And having Dennis here has been, like I said, a game changer. He really stepped in when I wasn't here for those couple weeks, making sure stuff was getting handled. So it really opened my eyes to really realize and know that I've got the right people on my sales side in place that can handle things when I am gone. So, I think the Lord used that for me in that sense. But I look back now and it just made me really appreciate my sales guys that I have. So that way, I can really appreciate what they've been doing for me.
Yeah, I mean it's you don't realize the staff you have until you need them, right? You kind of maybe take them advantage. What is that the one thing that you can tell other dealers that the good that comes out of that, you appreciate your staff, or is there something else?
Yeah, I definitely say, because I do struggle with that, right? I mean, we all do. This is our baby. It's our business. We don't want to let things go. And it's a hard thing for me to let go of things. And so knowing that I can trust my staff has been a really big opportunity for me to kind of, just mainly step back and kind of just do more of the buying aspect and not really get involved with the whole sales process, which is hard, right? I mean, I still want to. That's why, there are times where I feel like I'm more of an employee than a boss, and I hate that feeling. And I think that I obviously, as the owner, I have a lot of work that I got to work on. But I definitely feel like having the right people in place is what it's all about.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier about you stepping back in being an employee more than a boss. What do you do day to day in the dealership?
So, I'm buying the cars, inputting them into the system, making sure recon's getting put in, going through trades, making sure either A, they're getting floored or B, they're paid off if there's a loan payoff or anything like that. Constantly checking to make sure, deals are getting funded through, either out one or cuddle or whatever. And if we've got a funding delay, why we have that funding delay, what are we doing? So then I'm kind of like jumping back a little bit and kind of pushing on Dennis, just a hair to make sure that we're all staying focused on what we got to do. But a lot of it is just, the day by day for me is just kind of going through the back and stuff, making sure stuff's listed and putting where it's supposed to be and stuff is correct.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're actually working in. I mean, that's a little more working on, right, Jeff?
I don't know, man. I would definitely say that's
little of both.
Yeah. If you're talking about nuts and bolts and funding and stips on, contracts and transit and stuff like that, like that's definitely in, which is understandable because you've got a lot of moving parts. And to be straight frank, this is probably one of the biggest advertisements for a dealership to move quickly from 10 to 20 a month up to 40 to 50 a month, right? Because at 10 to 20 a month, you own a job. And we talk to dealers all the time. It's great. It's great. You can make a really good living if you're okay being there 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, right?
Yep.
But when you have a family problem and it's just you and your son working the dealership or you and your wife that run the dealership, you got to shut the doors. And that money stops. And so that's the hardest and the biggest cautionary tale, I would say, to those young guys that are in a dealership and think, hey, it's just me and my wife, I'm fine. Or me and my buddy, it's just the two of us. We're going to sell 15 a month and be happy as clams. That works until it doesn't work.
Correct.
You're also stuck in a tough position because at 30 cars a month in the retail world, it doesn't really give you a ton of freedom, right? You're still got to be there. You can't fully pay to replace yourself because you're not making enough money yet. Now, obviously at the 40 to 50 cars a month, I think that's where the economics work out. You can have, a manager and a receptionist and a controller and maybe a title clerk along with 2 salesmen. Now you got a staff of 5. You can step away from a period of time and just focus on buying and doing what you want to do. Right now, it sounds like you're stepping back in as the title clerk and the controller because you haven't quite jumped that hurdle from.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about it for other guys on the podcast talk about. That's a hard number to hit. That 40 car a month number is, man.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously, during COVID, we were killing it 40, 50, 60 cars, 70 cars a month with no issue. We were just talking about that this morning. But, since then, man, to hit that 40 car a month, like to stay on a 40 car a month average is, man, it's hard. It's having the right inventory at the right price, making sure the right recon's getting done. Not too much is getting added into there. Like they're doing too much to the cars. It's a lot. I mean, when I go to the auctions out here, I see what these guys are paying, and it's hard for me to, and I think that might be a little bit of a struggle for me too, is the inventory side, in that sense where, you don't want to pay retail book for these cars at auction, and I'm watching guys do it. So instead of me stocking 60, 70 cars a month like I should be, I'm stocking anywhere from, 47 to 55 in that range, so.
And that's probably limiting your sales.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you 100%. But I want to buy cars that are going to make my guys money and make the store money. That's what,
And that's, the people you see the people you see at the auction paying retail, they've got good back end profit. Since Dennis has kind of moved into that situation, where have you seen your back end gross go to? Like,
oh man, I would say if let's just say if I sold 20 cars this month, I would probably say at least 15 of them would have some sort of back end on them, which is phenomenal. I would say the average gross on the back end right now is probably right around 15 to 1700 bucks, from, maybe gap and service, and sometimes a little bit more, just kind of depends. But we're also doing, key fob replacement, wheel replacement, windshield and maintenance care, stuff like that. So, but reserve alone on some of these newer vehicles, I mean, that's a game changer. I mean, you make 1.5 on these back ends on these things, which is really incredible on these newer trucks or cars,
Yeah, I mean that extra interest money sure does go a long way. But
yeah,
you'll talk to the retail dealers that are really doing it and killing it. They're making $3,000 on the back end, right? And that's where they have to kind of get to, because they may be losing $500, $1,000 on the front end, right? And that's the ones that are at the auction paying retail for these cars. Now, I think that's a scary game to play, and I don't want to play that game, but people are doing it.
Hey, real quick break to make sure you guys know about Blitz Pay. It's who I use to take all the payments at my Buy Here, Pay Here dealership. We've been with them for almost 3 years now, and it is absolutely amazing. It's great.
Yeah, the product is so simple, even an idiot like me can use it. But when my collector's out and I'm just taking a phone call here or there, no matter where I am, I can log into Blitz Pay and I can take that payment. I can see the customers texting in and say, "Hey, can you run this?" or whatever's going on. It's always on top of it, and the money's in the bank almost the next day, and that is, to me, so important.
And the support is great. If we do have a chargeback or a dispute, we get an email that says, "Hey, there was this dispute," and then their team goes to work to help us resolve it. They don't just dump it back on your table with some random notification or email that you barely ever see, like my previous processors.
Yeah, that it's so helpful. And a lot of times it's because our customers did something wrong. But when it's not, they'll fight to the end with you and get that money back in your account.
Yeah, so give them a call. The guys and girls over at Blitz Pay, great partner to have. Definitely an essential tool to have if you're a Buy Here, Pay Here dealer.
You mentioned to me that you were having some struggles in your shop. You want to go over those?
Yeah, so I did get my other 2 bays up and running, so I do have 4 bays now, which is good. We've had some mechanic issues over there in the past year. I'd say we've had some guys kind of come and go. And I don't know if that's my fault from hiring the wrong guy, but, resumes are good and maybe references checked out, but when they get here, stuff just doesn't fall into place. So a little bit of struggles on that side, finding the right techs to do. I mean, my guys are good. They're just kind of slow. And I do have a really good younger kid. My staff's over there young. I don't have an older staff over there that have been seasoned in that type of work for 20 years or so. It's all right now. We're looking for a service writer. I have my second son who's 20 years old, and he's the one my service writer right now. I mean, so it's I my wife and I have talked, and that's not the right seat for him. Honestly, he needs to just go back to wrenching. And it's just me finding the right guy to get in there that I can trust. And I know that's not going to steal from me because, like, you guys have been through it. I have guys steal and parts and money and whatever else. So, it's going to be finding the right butts for the right seats over there, and that's kind of where we're at now.
Are you doing outside retail work, or are you just doing recon?
Yeah, both. We're doing our recon and some outside work, which is nice. Like we've talked about before, I know in the first podcast we talked about not really getting the outside work coming in, just kind of focus on the on the recon stuff, which we did. And then the second podcast, and I think it was what we said, 342, we talked about maybe trying to get a little bit. And we have gotten some, which is nice. We have revamped a lot of it over there and some new lifts, some new equipment. But it's just getting getting us out there in that sense of making the right type of advertisement to get us a little bit more dizzy over there,
So you're not having a recon problem? Are you not having a problem getting cars to the front line?
Not buying as many.
Yeah, that. So I mean, right. I ran a couple reports today. I wanted to see my averages based off of what I sold compared to what I had in inventory those months, and it was kind of an eye opener for me. There were some months that we did extremely well, and I didn't have a whole lot of inventory. I had say 47 cars that we sold 33 or 34, and I'm like, wow, like that's huge. So now it's going to be a report going back, seeing what those vehicles were that we were able to move. So, yeah, I think a lot of it's that. And I am buying nicer cars. I'm buying, more green light cars and stuff like that, just so they can get through quicker. Brakes, oil changes, wiper blades, little things like that don't need as much recon, so you pay up a little bit more for the vehicle, but at the end of the day, my shop's not slammed, backed up, busy trying to run stuff through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the right or wrong thing to do. I feel like, we can, and my detailer guy, he's doing really, really well back there. He's killing it. And, so yeah, he's getting them brought out here. He pictures them and then we get them posted. So it is a quick process.
Your shop is a separate location, right?
It's on the same property, just right across our parking lot.
Okay. And so your son who's service riding, does it look like a standalone repair shop?
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does. If you pulled in there, you'd look to the right and see buildings there's a mechanic shop over there.
And is he paid based on tickets and dollars sold?
He's paid hourly.
Okay. So obviously, throwing this out there, and I've never ran an independent shop. I've never ran a retail shop. Luke might have more insight on this. That to me, amongst some of these key opportunities you have, that might be one where I'd say, hey, Brandon, if you have an extra 5 hours over the next couple weeks, get that service rider in place, right? And maybe you have a little extra cash right now because you're not buying as many cars. Maybe you have a little cash in the bank and you can see yourself, hey, yes, I've got 2 to 3 months of this guy's salary set aside. I'm going to make that key hire a good service rider, and I'm going to put him on a base salary plus commission, and I'm going to get him in there and he's going to run that shop like an independent repair shop.
Yeah.
And that's what I need.
If that's your goal. And then your son goes back to wrenching, that guy is now running it. He's responsible for that operation. He'll get paid as it, but it's going to it'll be hard, man. You're going to turn over a lot of stones to find that guy.
Yeah.
But his location looks great too. Jeff, you need to look at it on Google Maps, and the way that the service building is off to the side. I mean, it sets up perfect to kill it there. But Jeff is totally right. You really kind of probably need like the service manager, service writer, type guy. What's that, Jeff?
I said I would shoot for a gal first off. In today's
for
that
sure,
would be my goal. But
I don't disagree with that because those guys in the shop will listen to her, right? And then the women or the other people that come in to buy service will listen to her as well. Sometimes guys don't play well with guys, right? Or women feel like they're being talked down to or whatever. So yeah, I definitely think that
And we have got a few a few really good applications for some females that we're waiting on to show up for interviews this week. So that should be good there. We are obviously actively interviewing for that right now. You know, and I agree with you 100% about, you know, paying these guys based off of, you know, the tickets we put through. But it is a scary thing right now because we don't have as much outside work as I would like. So, you know, how do you? I guess my question to you guys,
Guarantee him.
what's that?
You'd guarantee him for the first couple months.
Okay.
You know, to hire that guy over and entice him, he's going to look at your historical stuff and say, why would I jump into this thing? You guys aren't legit. And you say, look, here's the potential. You know, what you're making now, I'm going to give you a guarantee for the first 2 months that's going to phase out at month 3 and 4 as retail. And I'll give you the greater of whichever you hit, right? For the first
There's
something like that.
And honestly,
Yeah, no one wants to build it from the ground up.
and advertising and to me, advertising for a service department, service center is so much easier. You can make the phone ring off the hook. Because Google, people are Googling all day, where to repair my car, this, that, and other. There's just not as many auto repair shops in your town as there are sales places in your town, right? So it's just a lot easier to get keywords. So you can say to this guy or gal that you're going to hire, hey, this is your salary for the first 90 days, right? And I'm going to also give you a budget of X for advertising for those first 90 days. So you can kind of tie it in both ways. You already have the facility. It looks great. It can be managed properly. And all of a sudden you turn on, you're going to need another website for your service department. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that.
Yeah.
But you do that and turn it on and spend $5,000 a month in advertising in the service department. You'll have so much business, you won't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, you know, it's definitely the way we need to start moving and getting towards, you know, I feel like the sales side is doing really well. And I feel like that side's kind of bleeding. I don't want to say bleeding us, but definitely it's not making the business any better.
It should be in your situation, it should be a profit center. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, because you're retail and because you've got the look and because you're in a town. I don't know what other guys are doing, but in my town, every repair shop is backed up 2 to 3 weeks.
That's right.
If I even had a building with 4 lifts in it and I had 2 half competent mechanics, they would be busy for days just by turning an on sign, right? And I can't imagine you're similar. If they knew you were actively recruiting outside repair work, you'd keep your guys more than busy, which I assume they're busy now. I guess that might be the question we got to ask first is, do your current mechanics have any capacity?
Yeah, we are. I mean, that is one thing. We are busy. I mean, obviously we're busy with our recon, and then we are getting, like I said, we are getting outside work, especially right now with, you know, like people want to put studded tires on. So, you know, we did get a new balancer and tire machine last year. So obviously it's been helping us there. The new lift, we finally got our final 4th lift. And then last week our guy came in and, you know, recertified all 4. And so we're up and going, and we have been, I would say we're probably I would say on the low side, we're probably a week out for work right now, just with, you know, they're still rifling. I have a lead tech who is also 20 years old. And he just does our brakes and oil changes and just blows through stuff really quick, which is great.
That's where the money's made, baby. You gotta kill it there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he's doing for us there. And he's staying pretty busy and doing really good with that. You know, it's you know, my wife tells me all the time, I know we don't have the right guy in the seat over there. And I agree with her 100%. I don't want to set him up for failure, you know, at 20 years old to not want to do this anymore, because he's dealing with customers, which he's great with. But, you know, some of these other seasoned, you know, guys or gals, they've had to deal with some of these putting out fires and stuff like that with some of these guys, you know. And so what really hurts is having to use an outside shop, but I have my own shop here. I've got some really good relationships with a couple different shops here in town, and they really take care of me on, you know, some of these bigger jobs. I mean, I've got a guy that came in with a Mercedes that had the motor torn apart. Like, I don't really want to work on Mercedes. You know, I don't have the right. Yeah, we just pass that along to somebody else. So, you know, I do have that at least. But yeah, I agree. I think it's 100%. It's getting the right person in the seat over there to help start building that, and really, because you talk to all these big dealers, and they're like, man, that should be carrying all your bills. They should be carrying everything. So
yeah, they say that it's easy for franchise stores to say that 100% absorption. I've never met an independent dealer who has it. Now there may be somebody out there. I've just never met one.
Sure.
Just hard to get done, but it should definitely be a profit center is the way I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. So along those lines, the other thing I'd say that sticks out to me is your sales problem, right? Like you do need to get those numbers up, just so you can start looking to free yourself, because it sounds like you don't have a title clerk right now in the office, right?
No, Dennis is doing all the title work while he gets on his downtime when he's not doing stuff. Like I said, he's a rock star, man. He'll be here till 8 o'clock at night just doing titles for us. Like, I mean, I'm serious. His family and they're phenomenal people. We love them like our own, and he's putting in the hours just like I am, honestly.
But you don't want him to burn out.
But
Correct.
And let me float this. Let me float the delegate and elevate, right? So he should not be doing title work. He's worth way more than that. So you need to write down everything you do during the day, and you need to look at all those $10, $15 an hour tasks, and you need to put those together with all of his $10 to $15 an hour tasks, and then hire someone or give him to your wife if she's capable to do it remotely, and hire someone to take, because guess what? He could occupy half of his time doing $15 work when he should be $100.
And Jeff, you could also, a lot of those jobs you can automate with AI.
Yeah, maybe.
And so you could really think there's 100 jobs that you need to hire somebody to do, when really there might be 10 after you automate them properly. But that's a show for a different time. But Jeff's totally right. Yeah. You can't keep doing those things. Dennis definitely can't, because Dennis can be making you more money, hanging deals and selling stuff.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We've even told them that too. And, it's just, it has been, it's these last, 8 months. And I don't know about you guys, but man, the credit that we've been dealing with lately has just been, horrendous credit. I mean, if we would have got everybody approved last month, there's my 40 cars a month with our eyes closed. But, you're pulling guys that are scoring 380s to 410s, low fives. You're like,
I was told we had many 400s in over the weekend.
Yeah. So do we. So that's a hard part too, and then some of them with some of our subprime stuff, they get them done, and I've seen people coming in just recently that are, just absolutely smoked in their trades, trying to fight that, trying to get that together for them, and that is one thing I will tell you, Dennis and Dalton and even Gavin, they work these deals to death. Literally to the point to where it's like, we have to tell them like, hey guys, there's no deal here. Just move on, because I know you want this sale and we're telling you to work them to death, but there comes a point where you just got to just say, hey, unfortunately, there's just nothing we can do for you.
Yeah. That's hard to do though. It's hard.
It is. It's very hard. It's very, very hard.
Yeah. So, hey, what are you doing, like, for you? What do you got coming up? Because I'm going to be straight honest with you here, and I guess we can cut this from the podcast if you don't want it to air, but I think your attitude's way different currently than it was a year ago when we talked to you. Like the Brandon of a year ago, you were like, oh yeah, we're doing this. This is happening. This is going on. This is going on. This is going on. This gone. And the Brandon today is like, that can't happen. This sucks. That's not good. Things aren't great. This is, like I'm getting a lot more pushback from the Brandon of today than I did the Brandon a year ago. What's up with you? Like, where's your mind at as far as the dealership goes and your personal stuff? Like, how you keeping your tank full?
With me, it's I'm blessed, and I get to go to the gym every morning and let off some steam, but I think a lot of it for me this last year specifically has just seeing kind of what, my family's gone through these last months has really opened my eyes to just saying, honestly, it is what it is, and so when you sit back and you look and you're checking your books and you're seeing, oh man, it's gonna be a tight month or whatever, it kind of puts you in a funk, but I think it's just being honest with yourself and knowing that, hey, I can only do what I can do. And I'm trying to do more, when it comes to different things here and there. But for me, it's like, we'll try to plan something that's going to be out in front of, we have something to look forward to, so the wife and I are going on a vacation here in February, and that's going to be a nice time for us to just kind of recharge, shut the engines down for a little bit. I have been going, full bore for the last year, like just all in, doing everything that I can do. We can always do more. And so there's times where I get down on myself and I feel like I'm not doing it right. And then there's times too where like Dennis would come like, dude, you're doing good, man. Just keep up that, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're getting us inventory to sell. And, I get discouraged a lot of the times because, I like as I know you're not hearing all the good that's going on in the store. You start hearing about the negative stuff that goes on. So you're fighting that aspect of it. And so I feel like a year ago I was more upbeat and positive, ready to go. And I just was more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but more optimistic, I guess, of what could really be. But now looking at how much work it's going to take to do what we need to do. I mean, like I told you guys before, I was a lineman for a power company for many, many years, and got hurt real bad. And I never owned a business before. And so, stepping into something like this and taking it over and just really for the last 10 years, getting after it, working more now than I did when I was a lineman. But, I just look at, really what needs to happen in the day to day. And there's days where, yeah, dude, I feel like I get burnt out every once in a while, but it's trying to stay focused.
I think Jeff, what Brandon's going through is what we all go through from time to time. So don't let it get you down. And what's going to happen is at some point, you're just going to snap out of it. You're going to find something new at the dealership or new at the service department that challenges you and invigorates you. And, don't let it get you down because it happens to all of us, I think.
Yeah. And I think, you hear a lot of these guys like, and I'm sure dealers are lying and stuff, but they're killing it. They're doing this. And, we're not breaking records. Not by
if dealers are speaking, they're lying.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's with me is, I try to be an honest guy with everybody and just, and I kind of tell people what I got going on. And I've got some really, really amazing friends that I've met throughout this last year at the auction, actually, kind of a crazy thing. And he kind of, I don't want to say mentors me, but he'll kind of get me back in my place at, every Thursday when I'm out there or something like that. So it's been really cool, man, to have a relationship like that with someone to kind of pull me back and say, hey, stay in your lane. You can only control what you control. You can't control the uncontrollable. And I'm like, no, you're right. So, but the financial stresses of owning a business and the overhead here and everything else, making sure that everything's got to be, moving, because bills come regardless if sales are coming or not. The bills they're piling up, they're coming. So
that they do,
so it's doing that. And, but I do feel like, this is why right now we're really hot to trot on getting the right people in here for the new year. And I'm hoping here by the end of next year when we have hopefully we can do another meeting and just be like, yeah, this is where we're at with killing, So, I think for me, it's just staying focused and trying to stay in as positive as I can, with my employees and customers that I do run into out there.
I'm trying to tell you, Brandon, we all go through it, right? We all go through it and everyone's going through it right now. You know how many dealers are not in business now because of how the last 6 months have been and how many are planning exits now because of how the last 6 months have been. So it's a really hard time. And I look at it even with me, even in the last 30 days, I've got cars that I'm like, why haven't these moved? Why am I sitting on stuff? Why are sales so slow? Why? I'm getting nervous. Like, well, that thing hasn't sold. How can I get another one in? Even though it's a good deal, I don't want to buy it because I'm scared to sell this one. So yeah, we're waiting for the tax dam to break and tax time to happen, hopefully.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. When it is seeing the inventory out there that we might have floored or something. Flooring is a big thing that kills dealers. And we're in the process right now of really, we've sat down, we're really trying to figure out what it is we can do to get ourselves out of that. And I think we're moving in the right direction. So I think once that goes away, they'll still have it here and there, but I think once it goes away from having curtailment payments, those are coming due. Better start selling cars. Hey, why is this not sold? It's been 90 days. Hey, it's been 120 days. Why? And it's just, you never know. Like when I think I got it figured out, it flips all over again. And I'm like, man, you can't.
We're all there, buddy. You just never know why the perfect car won't sell, right?
Yeah. I mean, these things are out there. They're clean. I go out and physically look at them and I'll drive. I'm like, what is wrong with this car? Nothing. Super clean little car. And like Subaru. I'm like, man, I had this thing for 120 days. This should have been gone within the first couple of weeks. Like, what's going on? And it's just,
it's the wrong color. It's got the wrong interior, man. I feel you, buddy.
Yeah. So that is definitely a struggle that I deal with, every day when I start seeing some of the older inventory. Not that we have a whole bunch because we are able to move stuff. When I took your advice before, it's just, hey, take your loss now and not keep keep sitting on that thing. Let's just be done with it and take the loss. We can make it up on something else and we're good.
Talking about your losses and just in cutting them loose when it's time to cut them loose. We talk about that a ton. So to put a pin in this, Brandon, obviously a lot of this is getting through the tough times and knowing that this business is cyclical, and putting away for those hard times so you can get through them. Not a lot of dealers will fold up, their flooring lines will crush them, their interest will crush them. Those types of things will put guys out of business this time of year or during a season like this. Right. So I think staying focused on that stuff and just knowing you're going to get out of it and planning for that upcycle, right? Because what's the other option? It's not. You want to stay like this? No. Yeah. No, I'm going to plan for more sales in January, February. I'm going to hire another salesman. I'm going to hire a repairman. I'm going to get my shop up and running because they might be buying cars. They're definitely going to be fixing cars.
Yeah, and with the right pay plans, these people don't cost you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So think about it, and next thing you know, you're gonna be re-energized and ready to go.
Yeah, and I can feel that, with just what we got going on. I can see a little speck of light at the end of the tunnel for that. We're getting the right people in there. And it's like you said, you nailed it, because I've talked to guys that are multimillionaires that own these billion-dollar companies that I'm like, how are you doing? He's like, well, you do like this. I'm like, I can't afford these. Like, you can't afford not to. You just, at the end of the day, it's just like Jeff said, you got to bite the bullet and figure out how you're going to pay that person for the first 3 or 4 months and see what you can do to move them forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, buddy, we're excited to check in another couple months or another year or so. Yeah. Obviously, we'll hear from you by email and text message before then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, I appreciate what you guys do, and I get a lot of stuff from what you guys on your podcast throughout the week, and some of it doesn't really obtain to me, but a lot of it I can pick out little onesie twosies things out of there, which I thought are what I really like. So I appreciate what you guys do for us independents out here, and like I said, if you guys keep that moving forward, man, I love picking up little things from you guys. That's really, without you guys, honestly, I don't know where I would really be, because I picked up a lot of different things from your podcast, which is huge. Talking to other dealers that are just honest on the cast, like they tell you, hey, this is what it is, and this is how you're supposed to try to fix it. And so you guys have been a game changer for us. So like I said, I really appreciate you guys. And I do look forward to hopefully getting together here soon again and let you know where we're at.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, Brandon. Take care, man.
Thanks, guys.
See you.